Hello, everybody, and welcome. Um, we are going to give everybody just a couple seconds in order to get in, because there's people still joining. But my name is Christy Dudgeon. I'm with SBC Consulting. I'm here with Steve Barry today. Steve is going to be your presenter, and he is ready to go. There is a chat in this webinar as well as a Q&A. Chatting is for chat, Q&A is for questions. I do believe that we have it set so that everybody can see the questions that are being asked as well as the chat. So if there's some dialogue going back and forth in there, Steve will answer your questions as well as chat along. Lou is here with Community Ventures as well. Lou, if you ever want to pop in and say anything, you're a panelist now, you're able to do that at the end, or if you want to raise your hand and ask questions, anybody that's here, you can do that as well. Steve will be able to see if you raise your hand and he'll actually be able to unmute you. But otherwise, keep those questions to the Q&A and to the chat. So with no further ado, I shall turn this over to Steve, and you guys are going to talk SEO for the next hour.
All right. All right, guys. Welcome, everybody. My name is Steve Barry. I'm an automation engineer, front-end developer, and SEO specialist. I've spent the last several years helping small businesses solve, one major problem, which is, how do I stop being invisible online? And before we talk about SEO, Google rankings, websites, and AI, I need you to understand something first. Most businesses think they have a website problem, but they don't. They have more of a communication problem because in 2026, the internet is loud, so to speak, right? Everybody is posting, everybody is advertising, everybody's trying to optimize, but customers are still asking that same old question. Can you help me? And can I trust you? That's really it. Technology, it changes fast. Human behavior, though, not really as much. People still buy clarity, they buy confidence, people still buy trust. And that's why this workshop matters. Today is not about turning you into a programmer or a marketing expert. You do not need to become technical, right? You simply need to understand how the modern internet sees your business. Over the last several years, I think I've worked with more than 100 businesses, helping them improve visibility, modernize their websites, and build systems that, bring in the customers online. And I know I always notice this common denominator. The business is winning. The businesses winning online usually are not the biggest. They're the clearest. Within 5 seconds of landing on their website, you understand who they are, what they do, who they help, and honestly, what to do next. That clarity is key because when your website is confusing, Google gets confused. The LLMs get confused. When Google gets confused, you disappear. And even if your business is great, your website today is not just a brochure. It's your digital storefront. It's your first impression, right? Your best salesperson working 24 hours a day, right? And the good news, most small businesses, most small business websites are only a few strategic improvements away from performing dramatically better. Sometimes the problem is speed. Sometimes it's mobile usability. Sometimes Google doesn't trust inconsistent business information that you have online. Sometimes the homepage simply isn't clear enough. And today, we're going to fix that thinking. This workshop is designed in plain English, no jargon, no techie snob stuff, no making people feel behind, just practical steps that we can all actually see, right? Over the course of this presentation, we're going to walk through what I call the rule of octaves, 8 simple layers that help businesses become more visible online. By the end of today, you'll stop looking at your website as just a website. You'll start seeing it as a communication tool that it's either going to build trust or lose customers. You know what I mean? There's no in between, right? Before we get started, again, my name is Steve Berry. I'm an automation engineer, creative director. I'm an SEO specialist, but honestly, all that crap, it boils down to one thing, right? I help businesses become easier to be seen online because most businesses are incredible in real life, but online, Google may not fully understand them. Customers may not fully trust them, and confusion kills the visibility. That's why I believe in SEO. I believe SEO is not magic. SEO is really a communication at scale, helping search engines and customers clearly understand who you are, what you do, and why they should trust you. All right. So here's where we're headed today. We're going to peel this onion one layer at a time. First, what SEO actually is, because modern SEO is not tricking Google. It's reducing uncertainty, helping search engines clearly understand your business. Then we'll look at how search engines work, because once you understand that, SEO stops feeling intimidating. After that, we'll cover quality website essentials, because your website is your digital storefront. People make trust decisions fast. And finally, the must have pages every business website needs today. Because again, clarity creates the confidence, and confidence creates the conversion that we all want, right? So let's get started, right? SEO, 3 letters that make a lot of small business owners immediately think, oh no, this is going to get real technical. But let me try to simplify this right now, right? SEO stands for search engine optimization. That's it. It means helping your business show up when customers search online for what you do. That's really it. Because today, before people call you, before they visit you, before they trust you, they search. We all do it. We search. And if your business doesn't appear, your competitors get the opportunity instead, right? This workshop here is about fixing that. Again, no jargon, no overwhelming you, just some practical stuff that you can take with you today and use, right? So let me ask you, when somebody in your city needs what you sell, what do they do first? Now, 20 years ago, if you're as old as me, they would have asked a friend. Then it became something like maybe I saw a billboard, or maybe I heard a radio ad, or even a flyer, right? Then insert social media, right? Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. But today, 9 times out of 10, people Googled it. People probably asked Chat GPT. You think about your own behavior, right? You need a plumber, you're going to Google it. You need a restaurant, Google it. Lawyer, same thing. You need somebody you can trust with your money to fix your roof, your family, anything, right? What are we going to do? We're going to Google it. And that means something very important. If your business cannot be clearly found online, you are invisible during the exact moment somebody is ready to buy from you, right? Here's the easiest way to understand the SEO thing. Your website is your storefront. SEO, it's like your street sign. That's it. Imagine you build the most beautiful store in Texas, amazing lighting, amazing products, amazing service, but you built it in the middle of the desert with no signs, no road signs. I can't find you. Nobody finds you. Not because the business is bad, because the communication failed. And that's exactly what's happening online every single day. A beautiful website with no SEO, it's like a store with no address. Search engines reward clarity. You'll hear me say that word all the time, clarity. Google is trying to reduce uncertainty. Its job is to confidently answer one question: which business is most likely to help this person right now at this very moment based on their search? Now, the SEO part of it, the search engine optimization, it sounds technical, it sounds intimidating, but SEO is the process of helping search engines and humans clearly understand who you help, what you do, where you do it, and why you can be trusted. That is SEO. The search, somebody types a need into Google. The engine, Google scans billions of pages trying to find the best answer, the cross referencing, the optimization part of it. You improve your website communication so Google understands you faster. That's all that really is happening. SEO is communication at scale. In a conversation yesterday, I said SEO is, if you're old enough to know about knocking on doors, SEO is knocking on doors at mass scale, right? Now, let's talk about the opportunity real quick. Google processes 8.5 billion searches every single day. That's not every month, that's every day. That means while we're sitting right here right now, people are actively searching for businesses just like yours. And here's the wild part. Almost half of all Google searches are local. People searching for near me things, whatever near me, something open now, right? Best roofer, emergency plumber, bakery in Prosper, Texas, accountant near Kalamazoo, Michigan. Google has quietly become the largest referral engine in human history. And unlike a salesperson, it works 24/7, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You got it. Your website is your digital employee that never sleeps. We just need to use it. Now, let's have somewhat of an honest conversation. Most people never go to page 2 of Google. And I know that sounds kind of harsh, right? But think about your own behavior. When was the last time you searched for something and you clicked page 4? Exactly, right? Position 1 gets the majority of clicks. By the time you reach page 2, visibility falls pretty much off a cliff. So when businesses say, my website exists, but nobody calls, usually the problem is not existence, it's discoverability. Discoverability, visibility, right? Your competitors are showing up during the customer's decision-making moment, and you're not. And SEO exists to change that problem. Now, there are two ways to appear in Google, right? Paid ads and organic SEO. Paid ads are like renting attention. The second you stop paying, the visibility disappears. SEO is different. SEO is like owning digital real estate. It takes longer to build, But once momentum starts, it compounds. And here's something important. Users trust organic rankings more than ads. Why? Because subconsciously we're thinking Google chose that result, not this company paid to interrupt me. Now, both strategies have value, right? But for small businesses, organic SEO often creates the strongest long term return on the investment, if you will, right? So first let's clear up some myths real quick. SEO is not magic, right? SEO is not gaming the algorithm. SEO is definitely not stuffing keywords everywhere like it's 2009, right? SEO is definitely not reserved for giant corporations either. In fact, local SEO often favors small businesses. A trusted local roofer in, say, Prosper, Texas can outrank a national company. Why? Because Google understands local intent. Remember, Google is not trying to reward the biggest company. Google is trying to reward the clearest and most trustworthy answer. So, what does SEO actually give a business? Three things, right? Visibility, credibility, and the growth. Visibility means people can finally find you. Credibility means people trust you before they even call. Growth means more leads, more calls, more customers. And here's the beautiful part I like. Good SEO compounds. It snowballs. A great blog post can generate leads for years. A well-optimized service page can quietly bring in customers while you sleep. SEO is not just marketing. It's part of business infrastructure in today's world. Now, I want everyone here to do something later today, right? Google yourself, Google your own business. Seriously, Google your own self, type in your business name and then type something like uh, our service in our city plus the name of your business. And look honestly at what appears. Do competitors show up first? Is your phone number wrong? Are your reviews outdated? Does nothing show up at all? Whatever you find, that is not your failure. That is the baseline. That's the baseline we start from today. And the beautiful thing about that baselines can improve, right? Now, before we close out, I need to set realistic expectations, if you will. SEO, SEO is like a marathon. It's not a sprint. This is not push a button, become famous tomorrow, get leads tomorrow. No. Month one, foundation. Month month three, momentum starts building. Month six, you begin seeing compounding growth over time. Your visibility becomes an asset. The businesses winning online in 2026 are not always the loudest. They are the clearest, the most helpful, the most trustworthy, the most consistent, right? So here's what you now know. SEO is not about tricking Google. It's about helping Google confidently understand your business. Your website is your storefront. SEO is the street sign. Visibility creates the opportunity, trust increases conversion, and clarity improves ranking. Most businesses do not have a technology problem. They have a more of a communication problem. SEO is the bridge between what your business does and whether the world can clearly understand it. Now, in this next section, we're going to pull back the curtain and answer the question, how do search engines actually work? Because once you understand crawl, index and rank, everything else kind of falls in place and makes more sense, right? So now that we kind of understand what SEO is, we need to answer the next question. How does Google actually work? Because the moment you understand this, SEO stops feeling magical. And that matters because most business owners think Google is some mysterious machine in the sky making random decisions, right? The algorithm. It's not. Google's actually trying to do something very simple, reduce the uncertainty, right? That clarity. We come back to that all the time. That's it. Google's job is to help people find the best answer as fast as possible. So today, I want to show you what's happening kind of behind the curtain without the jargon, just the plain English side of it. So Google really only does three things. That's it. It crawls, it indexes, it ranks. Think of Google like the world's largest library, not a bookstore, a library. And every website on earth is trying to get its books placed on the front shelf. Step one, right? Crawl. Google sends out bots, sometimes called spiders, to read these websites. They move from link to link, page to page, like someone flipping through a giant digital book. Step two, it indexes. Google stores everything it finds in a giant database. If your website's not indexed, it's invisible. You literally do not exist to Google. Then comes the third one, rank. When someone searches, Google quickly scans its library and asks which result is the best answer for this person. That's ranking. And that is where SEO matters, right? So let's zoom into crawling just for a second here, because this part is important. Google bots are reading your website right now, not metaphorically, literally. They land on your homepage, they read your text, they scan your headings, check your images, they follow all your links and report everything back to the big head Google there, right? Now, here's where businesses accidentally hurt themselves. Sometimes Google can't properly crawl the site. Maybe the website is slow. Maybe the links are broken. Maybe pages are hidden. Maybe the site is built so poorly the bots get confused and leave. Imagine inviting customers into your store, but half of the hallways are blocked with boxes. That's what bad website structure feels like to Google. So when we improve SEO, we often we're often not gaming that algorithm, so to speak. We're simply helping Google navigate the building, right? Now here comes the indexing. This is where Google files your website into its giant library. And this slide right here, you know, is one of the most important moments kind of in this workshop because many businesses think, well, I have a website, so obviously Google knows I exist. Not necessarily. You can have a beautiful website and Google may barely know it's there. I see this pretty much every day. And here's a quick test. Open Google and type whatever your site is.com. If pages appear, great, you're indexed. If nothing appears, Google hasn't properly filed your site yet. And if you're not indexed, you can't rank. That's like opening a store but never putting your business in the phone book or the maps or any directory. Nobody can find you because the system doesn't know you exist, right? Now, let's talk about the part everyone cares about, right? The ranking. How does Google decide who shows up first? Hmm? This entire process comes down to three things, really: relevance, authority, experience. Relevance means, does your page actually answer the question that I'm asking? If somebody searches emergency plumber in Prosper, Texas, and your website barely mentions plumbing, Google moves on. Authority means, can you be trusted? Do other websites mention you? Do you have any reviews? Are you listed in any directories? Does your business look legitimate online? And then you got the experience. Is your site fast? Is it mobile friendly? Is it easy to use? Because Google watches human behavior. If a visitor clicks your site and immediately leaves, Google notices that. They pay attention to that. Remember this phrase: Google rewards clarity. You see me saying it again. It rewards clarity, not tricks, not hype, not keyword stuffing, clarity, right? Now, let's talk a little bit about the keywords. And hear me out. Keywords are not about cramming random words into your website. That's really old school. Modern SEO is understanding the language that your customers are already using. That's really it. It's If you're a bakery, right? People probably aren't searching for something like artisan baked culinary solutions. Who searches for that? No one. They're searching for custom wedding cake, Frisco, Texas, Kalamazoo, Michigan, Naptown, right? You see the difference? Specific searches create opportunities for small businesses. This is why long tail keywords matter. Long tail just means more specific phrases. And here's the beautiful part about this: the more specific the search, the closer that customer usually is to buying. A person searching for family dentist accepting new patients, Prosper, Texas, isn't casually browsing. They need help right now. That's a high intent search. Okay. Now, let's talk about links, right? Because links are basically digital word of mouth, right? When another trusted website links to your business, Google sees that as a vote of confidence. It's like another business owner saying, yep, they're legitimate. This is why local directories matter: Yelp, Google My Business, Better Business Bureau, all the chamber of commerce websites. Those are powerful juice, SEO juice. Those listings help reinforce trust. Okay. And then there's the internal links, which are, the links in your website that link between pages. Your home page links to services links to your blog posts, and your blog posts link back to other content pages in your site. This helps Google understand the structure of your website. You think of it like putting signs inside a grocery store. Produce aisle is this way, checkout is this way. Good linking creates direction, right? And this one here, this is the one. Google wants to give people the best answer. At the end of the day, that's it. Not the fanciest website, not the loudest business, not the business spending the most money. The best answer. So what does that look like, right? Helpful content, human first writing, real trust signals, technical quality. And honestly, this is good news for a small business, because small businesses can, incredibly, they can create this trust online. You have real stories, real customers, real experience. That stuff matters. You take that stuff for granted, but it really does. It really matters. A local roofing company, right? A local roofing company with an authentic photos, honest reviews, and helpful answers can absolutely outrank a giant national company with generic content. Why? Because authenticity creates the trust today. And trust is what Google is trying to measure. Now, usually around this point, people start asking the same questions, right? How long is this going to take, Steve? Honestly, SEO is a long term asset, usually 3 to 6 months before meaningful traction, right? But but unlike ads, the work compounds. Another question: does social media help SEO directly? Not so much. Indirectly, absolutely. Because social media creates visibility, traffic, brand awareness, trust signals. And another big one: why isn't my website ranking if it's been online for years? Because being online is not the same as being optimized. A dusty billboard in the desert, it still exists, but nobody sees it, right? Your website, it needs structure, it needs clarity, trust, helpful content, consistency, right? So let's kind of land the plane, if you will. What do we learn? Google crawls websites, Google indexes websites, it also ranks them. If Google cannot crawl or index your site, you're invisible. Ranking depends on relevance, authority, and experience. Keywords are simply the language customers use when they search. And links are digital trust signals. Now, here's the exciting part. We've spent the first 2 octaves here understanding visibility. But this next one, we're going to talk about something a little more important. What actually makes a good website in 2026? Because traffic alone is not enough. If visitors arrive at your website and feel confused, they leave. And when they leave, Google notices, right? So we talked about crawl, we talked about index, we talked about rank. Now, here's the question I want to pose to you. Once Google or a customer actually arrives at your website, what do they see? Because this is where a lot of the small businesses lose that I deal with. Not because they're bad businesses, not because they don't care, not because they aren't talented, right? They lose because their website creates uncertainty, basically. And uncertainty kills the trust. It's like throwing a grenade on your own business. So today we're going to talk about what actually makes a quality website in 2026, right? Not fancy, flashy, overloaded with animations. We want clear, trustworthy, easy to use because this is because Google, and your customers want the exact same thing. A website that makes people feel confident about what they're doing. And here's something wild, right? Studies show people form a first impression on your website in about 5 seconds. That's faster than a few blinks. And and in those few seconds, people are silently asking these questions. They're like, who are you? What do you do? And can I trust you? At the end of the day, that's it. You see, most business websites fail because they try to sound clever instead of clear. They say stuff like innovative integrated solutions for modern excellence or something like that. What does that even mean? I don't know. Imagine walking into a restaurant and the sign outside it says something like elevating culinary experiences through passion. Okay, cool. But do you sell tacos or not? Right? Your homepage should immediately tell people, what do you do? Who do you help? Where do you do it? Just keep it simple, because confusion creates friction, and friction makes people leave your website, right? Now, let's talk about your digital foundation, right? Your domain is your address. Your hosting is the building your website lives in. And this matters more than people think, because some businesses spend thousands on design and then put the site on $3 hosting. And that's like opening a luxury restaurant inside a shed, right? Slow hosting creates slow loading, crashes, bad mobile experiences, poor ranking. Google sees all of that. Customers, they feel all of that. And here's another important thing. Own your domain name, not your designer, not your nephew, not your old marketing company. I need you to own your domain, because your domain is digital real estate. You lose access to that, and you could lose your entire online identity, right? So every quality website is built on four pillars. Number one, clear messaging. People should know what you do within 5 seconds, not 10, not 30, 5. Number two, easy navigation. If visitors have to think too hard, they're gone. They leave. Your menu should feel obvious. Services, about, contact, simple ways. The third one, trust signals, real photos, real reviews, real people, not fake, AI generated stock people wearing headsets, whatever, right? Crazy looking photos. Uh, Number four, calls to action. Every page should answer, what do I do next? Should I call, book, request a quote, schedule? Because a website without a call to action, a CTA, is just an expensive brochure at the end of the day, right? Now, let's quickly talk about content, because content, this is huge. Content is evidence of experience. And most businesses write content like they're trying to impress other businesses instead of helping customers. You see the difference in that? Bad version might sound like, hey, we provide quality plumbing solutions for all your residential needs. Okay, that says a lot of nothing. Now, see how I flip it. Need an emergency plumber and prosper tonight? We answer 24/7 and arrive within an hour. You see the difference in that? That works. That answers the question right there. And why? Because it sounds human. Really, it sounds human. Specificity builds trust. Clarity, again, clarity builds trust. And trust builds the conversion that you're looking for. Google is trying to reduce uncertainty. So the businesses that explain things clearly, they're winning. Okay. Your homepage headline may be the most important thing on your entire website. And here's the formula. Kind of what you do plus where you do it plus why you're different. That's it. And an example might sound like, I keep harping on Prosper, but Prosper Roofing Repair, same day emergency service. Keep it simple, it's strong, it's clear. Now, let's talk about like the buttons. Most websites have terrible button text. Learn more. Learn more about what? You know what I mean? Instead of saying learn more, get my free estimate. That tells people exactly what happens next. Specific calls to action outperform vague buttons every single day. Okay. Um, Trust, right? Trust is the currency of the internet, right? And customers are making trust decisions before they ever contact you. So ask yourself, do you have real photos? Do you show reviews? Do you have uh, an about page with an actual human being on it? Because people buy from other people, not logos. One of the biggest mistakes I see, businesses hiding themselves. No owner photo, no team photo. There's no story about how they started. Just generic marketing slop, just marketing text. But in today's world, authenticity, authenticity wins in this day and age. The businesses that feel real are the businesses that customers trust. Now, let's talk about something Google cares deeply about. Um, Experience, expertise, authority, trustworthiness. But it's actually common sense. Google wants to know, have you actually done this work? Do you know what you're talking about? Do other people trust you? Does your website feel legit? That's why real reviews matter. Real project photos matter. Detailed explanations, all that stuff matters. SEO in today's world is no longer about game, excuse me, gaming algorithm. It's about proving credibility, really proving credibility at scale, right? So, but here's the good news about it all, right? Most website problems are fixable, right? Most are fixable pretty fast. And that's important because some of you are looking at your website right now and thinking, oh no, but don't panic. This isn't failure. This is just awareness. And awareness creates opportunity. Sometimes the difference between a weak website and a strong website is really a better headline, a clearer call to action, putting some real photos in there, 3 or 4 5-star reviews, right? A faster homepage. Small improvements compound. And that's exactly how SEO works. That's how the trust is, built and works. That's how real growth works, right? So let me show you quickly the mistakes I see all the time. Number one, the homepage headline is just a company name. That's not enough in today's world. Tell people what you do. Number two, stock photos all over the place. People can feel the fakeness in today's world. Number three, no calls to action above the fold, if you will. I have to scroll to find something to click on, meaning people land on the page and have no clue what to do next. All right. Number four, no reviews, which means no social proof. And that's heavy in today's world. Um, and five, tiny service pages with almost no information. Remember, Google rewards helpfulness, clarity. That thin content creates thin trust at the at best, right? People always ask, "Hey, what platform should I use?" And honestly, the platform probably matters less than consistency, right? That people talk WordPress, Wix, Squarespace, Shopify, all that stuff works. The best website platform, though, is the one you will actually update, the one that you can work with the best. Because an outdated website sends a signal to Google and to customers, really. It says, this business may not be active. Momentum is part of that. That's what matters online today, right? So here's what we learned today, in this section. A quality website is not about being flashy. It's about reducing uncertainty, clear messaging, easy navigation, trust signals, strong calls to action. That's what makes people stay. That is what makes people convert, you know, and that's what makes people trust your business. If nothing else, remember this: most businesses do not have a technology problem, it's the clarity. SEO is the bridge between what your business does and whether the internet can clearly understand that, right? So now we're getting into something that quietly destroys more websites than almost anything else. It's the structure, right? And I know website structure sounds boring, but right here, this is one of the biggest reasons business stay invisible, if you will, online, right? Your website has two audiences, really: humans and robots, visitors and Google. And both are trying to answer the exact same question: do I understand this business quickly? If visitors have to dig, they leave. If Google has to guess, you don't rank. And that's why structure is an invisible, like, SEO superpower. Good structure helps visitors find things fast, understand, what you offer immediately, you know where they are and contact you easily, right? And Google needs structure to understand what each page is about, which pages matter most, and whether your business looks trustworthy. This is all important. All this stuff is important. Google rewards what? Clarity, not tricks, hacks, trying to be clever or savvy. A clear structure reduces uncertainty for both the bots, the LLMs, human beings, right? Now, let's simplify this dramatically. Most small businesses only need 6 core pages. That's it. Homepage, this is your digital storefront. Within a few seconds, people should know who you help, what you do, where do you do it, and what to do next. About page, people buy from people. Your about page builds emotional trust. Your story, it matters. Your face matters. Your experience, all that stuff matters. The next one, service pages. And this one, I feel like this one is huge. Every major service deserves its own page, not one giant paragraph listing 20 different things. If you do 20 things, each one should have a separate page. Okay. Contact page, make contacting you ridiculously simple. Phone, email, hours, address, a short form, no friction. Uh, and then maybe a reviews page. This is that social proof. Let your customers sell for you. And a blog. The blog is not for random thoughts. Your blog is a search visibility engine. Every blog post is another opportunity for Google to understand your expertise. Okay. Um, and this might be the single biggest SEO breakthrough for most, if not many, businesses in the room. One service, one page. Let me explain why real quick. Every service is a different search. Okay. Roof repair, gutter cleaning, skylight installation, those are separate searches, separate problems, separate customer intents. But many businesses that I see, they do this. We offer roofing, gutters, skylights, inspections, emergency service, all together. Just one page, 20 services, zero clarity, confusing at at best. Google has no idea what to rank on that page. Now compare that to this one page for roof repair, one page for gutters, one page for inspections, et cetera, et cetera. Now Google understands everything, and your ranking opportunities multiply. One page is one opportunity, 4 pages, 4 opportunities. This is how small businesses start competing with massive budgets. SEO, remember, it is communication at scale. Okay. Your navigation menu is your website roadmap. Uh, the second one, someone lands on your site, their eyes immediately look for direction. And here's the mistake businesses make: they try to sound so clever. Solutions, discover, explore. Nobody searches for that. Plain English is going to win every time. Services, about, contact. Simple beats smart every single day. Keep your menu small, 5 to 7 items max. Too much more is going to be too confusing, right? Now, I know we have limited time on this, so I'm gonna get us through this. So I'm gonna kind of skip down here to our next section here, which is talking more about the keywords, right? And I need to simplify this because SEO world has confused people for really for years. Keywords are simply the phrases customers type into Google. That's really it. SEO, it needs to be plain English, what people are searching for. If someone types emergency plumber, Prosper, Texas, your website says water infrastructure fluid management solutions. Google doesn't know what that means. It gets confused. Customers get confused. We don't know what you do. And you lose. Your keywords belong in your titles, in your paragraphs, in your URLs, in your image descriptions. But naturally, don't try to stuff it in there and force it. Okay. Um, I know we've kind of maxed out our time. I see we're kind of at the end. Do we have any questions? I know I've kind of went too far here. We've kind of maxed out our time here. Do we have any questions in the room about what we're talking about? All right, well, I'm going to leave it at that. Again, my name is Steve Barry. If you have any questions, you can always reach out. Thank you very much. Uh, if you have any questions, reach out to me. I'm always here to point you in the right direction. And I'll leave it at that, and I'll see you guys on the next presentation. All right. All right. Thank you.